Mauget microinjection application timing. Mauget microinjections provide an effective way to manage many insects, diseases, and nutritional problems in trees. The following presentation provides information that will help determine the best time to microinject Mauget products. Application timing. There are several important factors to consider with the timing of Mauget microinjections. The tree cannot be dormant and must be actively transpiring so that the product will be taken up and translocated throughout the entire tree. The timing of the application should also coordinate with the appropriate stage of development of the insect or disease pathogen that you are attempting to manage. Most Mauget microinjections will provide at least 3 to 4 months of control. When the microinjection is applied during the proper time, it will provide season-long insect or disease control. Only one microinjection per year will be necessary to manage most insect or disease problems. Translocation time. It is best to microinject a tree 1 to 2 weeks before the insect or disease infestation is expected. This provides enough time for the chemical to translocate throughout the entire tree where it can address the problem. Translocation time can vary depending on the species of tree, size of tree, and weather conditions. Spring microinjections. Spring is a good time to microinject trees to manage many early season problems. Before injecting, make certain that the tree has emerged from winter dormancy. This usually occurs when the soil temperature reaches 45 degrees Fahrenheit. When a tree's buds are breaking is a good indication that the tree has emerged from winter dormancy. Summer microinjections. Early summer is a good time to microinject trees to manage problems that occur later in the season. Although conditions are usually very favorable for injecting during the summer, it is best to avoid injecting trees when the combined air temperature and humidity are both high. Also, during the summer, it is important to make certain that there is sufficient soil moisture in the tree's root zone. Injecting during high temperature with high humidity conditions, or when there is insufficient soil moisture, can cause leaf desiccation. This is more prevalent with fertilizer products. Fall microinjections. A fall injection can address the problems that will occur early the following spring. When timed properly, a fall injection will move down into the tree's root system, where it will be stored over winter. The following spring, the product will translocate throughout the tree. For best results, inject in the fall at the first sign of fall leaf color change. Complete injections before trees go into winter dormancy. A fall injection may be used to manage early spring problems, such as anthracnose, crabapple scab, and winter moth. Fall is also a good time to inject fertilizers and micronutrients. Winter microinjections. Throughout the majority of the United States, trees are dormant during the cold winter months. Applying winter microinjections is not an option. In the extreme southern parts of the continental United States and Hawaii, microinjections may usually be applied year-round. Preventative treatments. Preventative treatments are applied before the tree has been adversely affected by the insect or disease. Preventative treatments are best used when there is a high likelihood that the insect or disease will be active in the area. This is the case with recurring insect or disease pressure. The benefit of a preventative treatment may also be determined through early season scouting or monitoring, which may reveal indications of insect or disease pressure in the area. Curative treatments. curative treatments are needed to address unanticipated insect and disease problems that are affecting the tree. Mauget microinjections can effectively stop the further development and spread of insects and diseases in a curative program. The control will begin after the chemical has translocated throughout the tree. This will usually be several days following the microinjection application. Deciduous trees. Most species of deciduous trees may be successfully injected once they have emerged from winter dormancy. When possible, wait a few weeks following bud break to microinject. The weather will be warmer, and the trees will have more leaf surface. These conditions will improve the uptake and transpiration process. Deciduous trees. Some species of deciduous trees are referred to as bleeders. They exude sap in early spring because their vascular system has a positive pressure. If sap immediately begins dripping from an injection hole, postpone the injection process until the tree's vascular pressure reverts to a negative pressure. Plan on injecting bleeders after the leaves have reached approximately 1/2 their mature size. The most common bleeders include maple and birch trees. Conifer trees. Most conifer trees produce resin. The flow of resin protects trees from mechanical and insect damage by sealing the damage. Heavy resin flow may impede the chemical uptake when microinjecting trees. For best results, inject in the fall when resin pressure is low. Inject early in the spring after bud break before warm weather when resin pressure is also low. Avoid microinjecting conifers in late spring. When the weather is warm, resin pressure has a tendency to be high. Palms and cycads. Palms and cycads grow in warm climates. Because they do not go into winter dormancy, palms and cycads may be injected throughout the year. Coordinate application timing. When injecting trees to manage insect and disease problems, for best results, coordinate application timing with the appropriate stage of insect or disease development. You will need to have a basic understanding of the insect or disease so that you can predict when the insect or disease pressure will occur. For best results managing insects or diseases, inject 1 to 2 weeks before the infestation becomes active. In addition to providing time for the chemical to translocate throughout the tree, it also provides a cushion in the event that the pressure begins earlier than you anticipated. There are several techniques that can help accurately predict when to microinject for best insect or disease control. They are growing degree days, phenology, and normal weather trends. Growing degree days. Monitoring growing degree days is the most accurate way to predict the development of insects and diseases. Growing degree days, GDD, are based upon the cumulative average daily temperatures above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. For example, if you want to inject a tree for Japanese beetle adult feeding, Japanese beetles begin emerging from the soil as adults at about 1,030 growing degree days. Inject the insecticide when the growing degree days reach around 900. This will provide sufficient time for the insecticide to translocate throughout the entire tree before the beetles begin feeding. Most agricultural extension service websites provide accurate growing degree day information for your area based upon zip code. Phenology. Following phenology can help forecast insect and disease development. Phenology is the study of when biological events that depend on climate take place. Phenology operates on the same principles as growing degree days. For example, emerald ash borer adults begin feeding the same time that black locust trees bloom. Micro-inject ash trees for emerald borer when the black locust flower buds are developing. Normal weather trends. Following normal weather trends is a common way to determine application timing. This works reasonably well. However, it does not account for the variations in weather from year to year. When following normal weather trends, sometimes treatment times will be too early or too late for the best results. Fertilizers and micronutrients. The injection timing for fertilizers and micronutrients is not as critical as the timing for insects or diseases. The best time of year to micro-inject fertilizers or micronutrients into a tree is during the spring or fall. In the spring, the uptake and transpiration rate is good. The tree can benefit from the nutrients immediately. In the fall, the uptake and transpiration rate is also good. The nutrients will be stored in the tree over winter and available the following spring. Usually, a tree will not require a fertilizer or micronutrient injection each year. Fertilizer and micronutrient injections are generally applied once every 2 or 3 years, depending on the quality of the soil. Trees growing in southern warm climates that are not dormant in the winter may benefit from more frequent fertilizer and micronutrient applications. Treatment intervals. The majority of Mauget insect and disease control microinjections provide season-long control. It is not necessary to inject more than one time during the year in most circumstances. When treating a heavily infested tree or a tree adjacent to heavy pressure areas, injecting a second or third consecutive year may be necessary to effectively manage the problem. This will reduce the likelihood of the insect or disease reemerging the following year. Pollinators. The majority of flowers produced by trees are small and do not attract pollinators. Some trees produce colorful, fragrant flowers that attract bees and other pollinators. When injecting these trees with dinoside or imicide, inject after the trees have bloomed to avoid potential chemical exposure to pollinators. Most trees bloom early in the spring, before it is time to apply an insecticide. Conclusion. That concludes the series of advanced applicator training. If you have your state-issued pesticide applicator license and would also like to use our Insecticide B product line, you can continue on to become a master applicator by completing the Insecticide B training module. Once you pass the last exam, you will be a Mauget certified applicator. Be sure to explore the other features on the MaugetCertified.com site for additional tools and information updates that are provided to assist you in your success. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and join the forums also to learn what other applicators are doing, issues they may be having, and share your knowledge and experience. Welcome to the Mauget team. We look forward to growing together.